On their wedding night, the girl put a doll between her and her husband. The man, who was deeply in love with the girl, asked if he could move the doll away. The girl was greatly surprised and asked why he would have such a thought. The man only wanted to hold the girl, but he was too shy to say it out loud. Helpless, he had no choice but to turn his back to the girl. This scene made the girl very upset, because she wanted to hear the man confess his love for her. She directly rolled up all of the man's blanket. The man thought the distance between him and his wife would grow wider and wider. After they both fell asleep, they subconsciously held each other in their arms. The man did not like the girl when they first met. At that time, the factory founded by the girl was on the verge of bankruptcy. It was the billionaire man who came to her rescue. He found out that the girl's factory provided job opportunities for many people with disabilities. This was also the reason why the factory had low efficiency and faced bankruptcy. So the man invested $100 million in the girl's factory. The girl was overjoyed that someone finally understood her. She grew fond of the man and decided to repay his kindness. Fate soon gave the girl a perfect chance. The man's best friend said the girl looked just like his ex-girlfriend. He also said the man needed a contract wife to deal with his family's pressure to get married. The girl immediately knew how she could repay the man after hearing this. She took the initiative to propose marriage to him. The man, who badly needed someone to play the role, agreed right away. They made an agreement to only be a married couple on the surface. Every time the man needed the girl to accompany him back home, he would pay her a reward of $1 million. The girl was delighted every time she received the money, because she could offer more benefits to the factory employees. After arriving home, the man's grandma asked her why she had gotten thinner again. She wondered if the man had treated her badly. The girl explained that the man had always been very kind to her. With just a few words, she made the man's grandma extremely happy. The man felt relieved when he saw this scene. He was very satisfied with the girl's performance. At that moment, grandma suddenly put their hands together. They had never had any physical contact before and felt an electric jolt instantly. The girl subconsciously tried to pull her hand away, but the man stopped her. As they spent more time together, the man grew more familiar with the girl. The kind and optimistic girl deeply attracted the quiet and reserved man. When the girl fell into a deep sleep in the car, the man considerately covered her with his own coat. The girl looked extremely adorable in her sleep. The man could not help but gently touch her cheek. The girl woke up in an instant. She only suspected she had drooled without thinking the man had touched her. The guilty-minded man quickly said it might be true, then hurried away. Does the girl truly love the man? Will the man finally pluck up the courage to confess his love to the girl? The girl proposed to a billionaire the day before she went bankrupt. The man not only agreed immediately, but also couldn't wait to go get the marriage certificates with her. So the girl became the billionaire's wife for no reason. This identity not only brought her factory back to life, but also every time the man needed her to meet his grandmother, the man would give her an extra check worth $10 million. And the reason the man did this was all because of his grandmother. His seriously ill grandmother wanted to see him get married before she passed away. That's why he agreed to the girl's proposal. At this moment, he didn't fall in love with the girl. He thought he and the girl were just getting what they needed from each other. On this day, the girl received a message from her father. Her father asked her to take her husband home for dinner. The girl brought it up when the man was in a good mood, but the man refused her firmly. In the evening, the girl was talking on the phone with her father. Just as she said she might not have time to accompany her father for dinner, the billionaire knocked on her door. The lovely girl immediately stuck her head out. Then she begged the man again to go home with her. She said her father was eager to see her husband. Seeing that the man didn't answer all the time, the girl began to beg the man in different ways. What she didn't know was that the man knocked on her door to agree to go with her. At this moment, the man was deeply attracted by the girl's cuteness. After a long time, he slowly agreed to the girl. The girl was very excited and kept praising the man before leaving. After a while, she rushed out again to ask what the man wanted to eat. She could ask her father to prepare in advance. The girl's bright smile and lovely face made him more and more obsessed. He began to think about whether he and the girl could become real husband and wife. On the evening of the next day, the girl took the man to her home. The man, who wanted to know the girl, kept observing everything, while the girl was worried that the man, who was a billionaire, couldn't adapt to her home. So she showed her cuteness again and asked the man to forgive her in advance. The man didn't answer but took the girl's hand actively. This scene surprised the girl very much. She didn't know that the man had been conquered by her cuteness and beauty. Simple as she was, she thought the man was just too considerate. After entering the house, the girl immediately worshipped her deceased mother. She said the man treated her very well and asked her mother to rest assured. After finding out that the girl was from a single-parent family, the man cherished the girl more and more. He decided to treat the girl better and better, to make up for the love she had missed in the past. Can the man, who is not good at words, let the girl know his love? What will happen after they get to know each other more and more? The girl asked her fake husband to turn down her father's offer to stay over. The man thought his wife wanted him to stay behind instead. Unable to say no to her, he agreed without hesitation. She was stunned that he had actually said yes, for they were not a real married couple at all. The man was a genuine billionaire. The girl only took payment from him. In return, she was hired to act as his wife. The girl quickly apologized, saying her father was overly warm and enthusiastic. The man paid no attention to her words at all. His entire attention was drawn to the room filled with girly vibes. He felt there was a huge contrast between the girl's appearance and inner self. The shy girl noticed his gaze. She quickly jumped onto the bed and covered a throw pillow with her body. The man found the girl even more endearing in his heart, even though the girl was not his real wife. He had already fallen for her as they got to know each other little by little. Just when the man thought their bond would grow closer, the girl started keeping a deliberate distance from him. He was deeply upset, having already developed feelings for her. He could no longer stand her treating him with such formal politeness. One day he told the girl they should not be so distant even in a hired contractual relationship. The girl misunderstood and thought he was upset about her keeping her distance. She took out all the cash in her pocket and handed it to him, saying it was her sincere way of apologizing. The man grew even more irritated, for he realized the girl had no idea what he truly wanted. Overcome with anger, he made the girl get out of the car. Having no experience in love, she only thought she had given him too little money. She never realized what the man craved was her heartfelt love. In truth, the girl had long been in love with him, yet she feared revealing her feelings would make him end the hired arrangement. Their social status and backgrounds were vastly different. She could only hide her love for him deep inside her heart. Neither of them knew what the other truly felt inside. The dejected man went to his best friend for comfort. In front of his friend, he finally admitted he had fallen in love with the girl. He also said he wanted to marry her for real. His friend praised the girl for being truly outstanding, and commented she was a perfect match for the quiet, reserved man. Encouraged by his friend, he made up his mind to let the girl know his true feelings. On his way home, he ran into the girl. He saw her working extremely hard to earn a living. He began wondering if she was a vain woman who chased after money. The girl gave all her money to her employee, because the employee's daughter was seriously ill. At that moment, her kind nature made her shine even brighter in his eyes. Will they eventually come to realize each other's love? The girl clearly likes her husband very much, but she only dares to express her love when she is unconscious. When she thinks she met her husband in a dream, she starts constantly praising her husband's excellence. The man can't help but ask where he is excellent. The dazed girl replies that he is very handsome. Just as she wants to say something more, she suddenly feels nauseous. The man quickly carries her to the bathroom. Even at this moment, she still thinks she is in a dream. She can't believe her cold and distant husband would take care of her. She breaks all her previous restraints and kisses her husband. This scene also makes the man who has long been in love with the girl very excited, because only at this moment can he be sure that his wife loves him. The next day, the dazed girl wakes up. The nanny immediately brings her a cup of coffee. From the nanny, she learns that what happened last night was not a dream. Instantly, regret fills her mind. Embarrassingly, her husband happens to walk over. The smart girl adjusts her state very quickly, but the man, who is clearly very happy, pretends to be calm. Embarrassment makes the smile on the girl's face disappear instantly. The man can't help but laugh when he sees this. He says the girl is amazing to get up so early. The girl doesn't answer. She only cares if the man remembers what happened last night. The man falls into silence. The girl eagerly hopes that the man will pretend to forget what happened last night. At this time, the man shows a meaningful smile. Then he says he can't possibly forget. The girl quickly apologizes, because she is afraid that the man will fire her. It turns out that she and the man are not in a real marital relationship. She is hired by the man to pretend to be his wife. The man's mood suddenly turns bad. Having fallen in love with the girl, he doesn't want to see her being so polite. But he doesn't lose his temper. He only asks the girl to accompany him to a banquet. Thinking that the man has forgiven her, she agrees. In the evening, the girl and the man come to the banquet. They meet the man's cousin. The cousin questions the girl's identity. The girl doesn't know how to answer for a moment, because she is not sure if the man wants others to know. But the man openly introduces the girl as his wife. The cousin immediately says the girl looks very similar to the man's first love. The man angrily retorts that the girl doesn't look like anyone. But the girl misunderstands the man's defense as belittlement. She thinks she is not as good as his first love in the man's heart. Will the girl find out about the man's love for her? Can they break through the obstacles and become a real couple? The girl was scolded for her humble status by relatives at the banquet. She did not get angry and instead started introducing her own factory. She believed a smile could turn a crisis into an opportunity. Yet she faced even harsher insults from the relatives. She chose to endure everything silently so as not to affect her husband, until her husband's scheming cousin called her a vain person. She could no longer hold back her temper. She rebuked the cousin for being useless and relying entirely on her parents. When the cousin tried to talk back, the girl stuffed cake into her mouth. The angry cousin threatened to complain to the man. The girl blocked her words with cake once again. She warned the cousin never to spread rumors again. The billionaire man watched all this and wore a smile. He then walked over to them. The cousin immediately filed a complaint. The girl thought she would be blamed by her husband, but he said she did everything right. When his relatives claimed she married him just for his wealth, he looked at the girl affectionately and said all his money was meant to be spent on her. Another relative tried to persuade him to let the matter go. The man pushed his hand away directly and warned everyone that bullying his wife was the same as bullying him. It was the first time the girl felt her husband's special favor. The man's relatives instantly changed their attitudes. They kept apologizing to the girl non-stop. After all of them left, the cold-hearted man completely changed his demeanor. He gently asked if she had gotten hurt. Upon hearing she was unharmed, he broke into a bright smile. The girl and the man got married right after meeting each other. He had already fallen deeply in love with her after days of getting along, but the girl knew nothing about his feelings. She still thought he only acted that way to uphold her status as his wife. Since they were not a real married couple, the unwilling man decided to take the initiative to win her heart. He asked the girl to feed him cake with her own hands, and then pulled her tightly into his arms. All these moves made the girl start to wonder if he had feelings for her. Yet one single sentence ruined all his efforts. He told her other people were watching them. He only used this excuse to get close to the girl, but the girl misunderstood that he was just putting on a show for others. Will the man win the girl's love? Will the girl ever realize his sincere affection? What other interesting things will happen along the way? There are more exciting follow-up plots. Follow and subscribe to my account if you want to find out. On their first wedding day, the young bride cooked a pizza for the whole family. Her father was utterly shocked, yet he immediately pretended to be sleepy and headed to bed. The girl kept calling out to him, but he never turned back. Her newly wedded husband was stunned by the scene. The girl quickly asked her husband to have a taste. The man froze the moment he laid eyes on the pizza before taking a bite. The pizza looked just like liquid water. He blurted out that this was not pizza at all. The girl explained that it was boiled pizza. He lost all appetite right away and lied that he had pizza for breakfast. The girl frowned the second she took a bite. The man was fully convinced it was a terrible weird dish. He could not help laughing at her funny reaction. He burst into loud laughter when he heard she wanted to go home for real food. He finally understood why his father-in-law ran away instantly. The girl did not feel upset at all. She was amazed by her husband's bright cheerful smile. She had never seen him smile like this ever since they met. The shy man covered his mouth. The usually cold-hearted man even told a joke. The girl was greatly amused. She could not help saying his joke was not funnier than himself. The man felt a little upset but held back his emotions. Everyone saw him as a cold-hearted billionaire. Only around this girl would he show his true self. In the afternoon, her factory was falsely accused by her husband's relative of selling all fake goods. Filled with rage, she decided to end her cooperation with the scheming woman at once. The scheming woman threatened to tell everything to her husband. Her best friend warned her this might make her husband angry, since their marriage was not real. The girl said divorce was the worst possible outcome. The man who came to bring her meals overheard these words. He only caught that sentence and mistakenly thought she wanted to divorce him. The highly disciplined man went to a party for the very first time. All his friends were shocked by his unusual behavior. They asked him what had happened. The gloomy man told them his wife wanted a divorce. His friend asked if he truly wanted to end the marriage. He answered firmly that he never wanted a divorce. His friend came up with a helpful solution right away. His friend used his phone to call the girl, and lied that he had already fallen fast asleep, asking her to come pick him up. Will the girl come to fetch him? Will the man find out all the trouble she has gone through? There are more interesting story plots coming up. Follow and subscribe to my account if you want to know more. The man wanted to hide in his new wife's arms, but being bad at expressing himself, he was afraid of being rejected and didn't dare to act. At that moment, his good friend pushed him into the girl's arms. He felt extremely happy in his heart. He carefully observed whether his wife would push him away, but the girl did not push him away or blame him. She only asked the man why he was unhappy. When the girl supported the man to leave, he secretly showed a proud smile to his good friend. As a billionaire, he had already fallen in love with the girl, but the girl always only regarded him as her boss. Every time the inarticulate man talked about wanting to be her real husband, the girl always thought the man was saying the opposite. So even though they were husband and wife, they always maintained a superior subordinate relationship. At this time, the slightly angry girl said his cousin had reminded her she would not delude herself into becoming the man's real wife. He finally understood why the girl wanted to divorce him. He immediately explained that he would punish his cousin. The girl was very surprised. Then she happily said that the man was really good. Being praised by the girl for the first time, he was very excited. But the next moment, the girl's poor driving skills gave him a lesson. He helplessly said he would buy the girl a safer car. Every move of the girl touched his heart. The quirky girl brought light to his rigid life. The next day, the girl and the scheming woman came to his office at the same time. The scheming woman instantly realized the girl had complained to the man. Immediately after, the man scolded his sister for hurting the girl. He asked his sister to apologize to the girl. Not only did the sister refuse to apologize, but she also said the girl had a low status and deserved to be scolded and humiliated by her. The sister's words made the man extremely angry. He said the girl was a kind and noble person because she had been helping the weak. The man's words deeply touched the softest part of the girl's heart. She finally understood that the man understood everything she did. After finding that his sister still refused to understand all this, the man gave up scolding and directly revoked the shares his sister owned. At this time, the sister immediately changed her attitude. She kept apologizing to the girl. The girl immediately said the apology was useless. The sister immediately showed her true colors. She scolded the girl again for being an ugly duckling, telling her not to delude herself into becoming a swan. Finally, the sister was driven out by the man. At this moment, the angry sister decided to take revenge on the girl. She sent a message to the man's first love, asking the woman to return to China and pursue the man again. Can the man be with the girl? What will his first love do to pursue him? There are more interesting follow-ups. If you want to know, please follow and subscribe to my account. When the girl deliberately came home late at night to avoid the billionaire who had been hiding behind the door hugged her tightly. Deeply in love with the girl, he wanted to be by her side every moment. They were a couple who had obtained marriage certificates. But initially the billionaire only asked the girl to pretend to be his wife to take care of his grandmother, and the girl only wanted to get the high reward promised by the billionaire. With their own agendas they became a contractual couple, only cooperating with each other's performances and not interfering in each other's lives. The billionaire thought this relationship would last until his grandmother passed away, but the always cold-hearted man experienced the magic of love. Every time the girl made his grandmother very happy. Standing aside he always hoped time would pass slower. The girl's cuteness and kindness slowly melted his frozen heart. Before he knew it the girl had deeply attracted the billionaire. The billionaire really wanted the girl to become his real wife. So on this day he pretended that his grandmother wanted a great-grandson and asked the girl to be his real wife. The girl was stunned when she heard this. He had to repeat it again. The girl asked why he had such an idea. Afraid of being rejected, the billionaire did not express his love directly. He still said it was to fulfill his grandmother's wish. The girl thought he was joking, so she proposed that she could agree but needed more reward. The billionaire immediately said he could pay 100 million as reward. Only then did she realize the billionaire was serious, afraid that the girl would feel objectified. The billionaire explained that this reward was what his wife deserved. The girl replied that she needed to think about it and then left. The billionaire felt a little sad at this moment, thinking the girl was very resistant to becoming his real wife. In fact, the girl was very excited after returning to her room, because although they were in a cooperative relationship, the billionaire had helped her many times when she was in trouble, so the girl had already liked him for a long time. After the excitement, the girl began to worry that their relationship would change, because they were now in a cooperative relationship. So the next day she wanted to refuse the billionaire's request. Before she could say the refusal, the billionaire realized she wanted to refuse. He quickly changed the topic to the girl's work. The girl successfully focused her attention on work. The billionaire took the opportunity to offer to invest in the girl's company. He said although they were not real husband and wife, he was still the girl's husband for now. Then he requested that the girl call him husband at all times. The shy girl called him husband. The billionaire decided to slowly make the girl agree to his request. He was no longer eager to become a real couple with the girl immediately. There are more interesting follow-ups. If you want to know, please follow and subscribe to my account. While the girl and her husband sang sweet love songs on the dance floor, the man believed he had finally gained his wife's true love. After returning home they still stayed in a joyful mood, but when he happily suggested having a child together, the girl suddenly turned gloomy. She firmly refused her husband. The next morning the nanny told him the girl had gone out early. He began to worry that he had scared her. At the same time the girl was talking with an important bank executive. She wanted to build a good relationship to secure a loan. Suddenly the executive placed his hand on the girl's hand. Afraid the loan would be cancelled if she resisted, she held back her anger. At the critical moment the man showed up just in time. He pulled the executive's hand away sharply. The executive, who was about to curse, immediately fell silent upon seeing the man. Under the girl's shocked gaze, the arrogant executive instantly bowed respectfully, because he recognized the man as the world's richest man. The man ignored the hand the executive extended to greet him. He clenched his fist, replaying the scene in his mind over and over. He left the scene in anger. The girl felt extremely guilty, but she quickly chased after him. She asked if he was mad. The man did not answer and questioned what she had been doing. The girl explained she was applying for a loan from the bank executive. The man asked why she never came to him when she needed money. The girl said business always requires bank loans, and she was afraid she could never repay all his help. The emotional man finally spoke his true feelings. He said he already saw her as his real wife. All his assets belonged to her, and she should never lower herself to socialize with others for a loan. The stubborn girl retorted that this was not the life she wanted. She pushed away his outstretched hand. She said she refused to become a parasite who relied entirely on him. With tears in her eyes she said the man standing at the top would never understand. She only wanted to build her own career through hard work. The man who loved her deeply began to question whether he was wrong. The next morning the girl worried if her words had hurt him last night. She found a letter left by the man on the table. She opened the letter and started reading. The man sincerely apologized to her in every word. He told her he never opposed her career. He only hated seeing her suffer wrong treatment outside. As husband and wife they should support each other. No one should rely on the other. The girl was deeply touched by the letter he wrote late at night. She wiped away her tears and broke into a bright smile. She finally understood how deep his love was. What reply will she send to him after opening her phone? Tears slid down the girl's cheeks onto the letter. After reading the sincere letter her husband wrote late at night, all his silent love finally came to light. At this moment the man was fidgeting with his wedding ring in the office. Too distracted to work, he was waiting anxiously for the girl's reply. At the same time the girl decided to truly be his wife. She invited the man to visit her company and get to know her better. It turned out they were originally a contractual couple. She pretended to be his wife to help him deal with his elders' pressure to get married, and the man paid her $10 million every month in return. But they both fell in love with each other during their time together. The inarticulate man had been unable to say his love out loud, until last night when he wrote down all his feelings on paper. The man broke into a big smile the moment he saw her text. Then as a billionaire he cancelled all his work. He rushed to the girl's company impatiently. The girl was extremely surprised. She had planned to go greet him ahead of time. The man did not show how eager he was. He started looking around the girl's office. When he saw the comic books the girl often read, he found her even more adorable. All this made the girl feel a little uncomfortable. She had never let a man know her so well. She instinctively tried to hide her deepest secret, but this caught the man's curiosity. In the girl's panic, he grabbed the note. Forcing a smile, the girl hurriedly explained it was left by her best friend. Then she took the note back from his hand. She knew perfectly well the man would not believe her. The man finally realized that behind her strong appearance she was very fragile. She even could not fall asleep without hugging a stuffed toy every night. He slowly put his hand on the girl's shoulder, then whispered that she could move into his bedroom. He expressed his love with the most sincere words. The girl immediately asked if he was serious. The man not only said yes but also promised to do everything she said. She broke into a bright smile instantly. The girl held out her hand to agree to his suggestion. Then she said this should not affect their original employment agreement. The man who had achieved his goal was also very happy. He agreed to the girl's request again. From this moment on, he looked forward to the night. Even though he had a lot of work, he did not go back to the company. He chose to wait for the girl at home directly. The moment the girl arrived home, he rushed to her side. Can they become a real married couple? There are more interesting follow-ups. If you want to know, please follow and subscribe to my account. The girl closed her eyes, ready for her husband to draw near. Her husband was so shy that he wanted to hide under the bed. Just as the girl was about to give her whole heart and loyalty to the man without holding back, she suddenly remembered she could not drink ice water that day. The gentleman held the girl in his arms, then comforted her that maybe the right time had not come yet. The girl felt the man's deep love once again. They had been married for 2 years yet acted like strangers all along. It was not until the previous day that the girl confirmed her husband's love for her. She finally decided to let her guard down and planned to give him her most precious heart and loyalty completely. But fate deliberately set obstacles for their love. The next morning, the atmosphere between the girl and her husband turned awkward. The two who loved each other deeply became overly polite again. Even the nanny noticed the strange vibe. In truth, they were both waiting for the day they could connect with each other soul to soul. From then on, the man marked each passing day on the calendar. The girl also wrote down the number of days on her calendar. The long-awaited day finally arrived as they looked forward to it greatly. The girl immediately told the nanny to replace the milk with ice water. The nanny's question let the man figure out what was going on. The cheerful girl watched closely to see his reaction. He was extremely excited inside but did not show it on his face. He made an excuse about work and prepared to leave early. Right after standing up, he sent a message to his subordinates. As a billionaire, he turned down all work tasks just to get off work on time. The girl failed to notice his inner excitement. She felt disappointed, thinking he had not understood her meaning. That night, the girl stood on the stairs waiting for him to come home. The man felt overjoyed when he saw her. He no longer held back his feelings and embraced the love of his life. He etched her image deep into his soul. The girl also felt his sincere love. Just as the man was about to express his love for her, the girl suddenly received a call from her company. She got ready to head to the office. The man could not bear to be apart from her. He wished he could stay by her side every single moment. When he arrived at the company, work was the last thing on his mind. He bought 2 pieces of jewelry worth hundreds of millions of dollars for the girl. The thoughtful man even had her name engraved on the jewelry. His friend teased him for being totally wrapped around his wife's finger. He did not deny it and said it was his greatest pride. He was willing to devote himself to love. That night, the man handed the gifts to the girl. Staring at the expensive necklace, she did not refuse it like she used to. She now knew he was not just her husband, but also her soulmate. No matter how valuable the gifts were, she was willing to accept all of them, for they were filled with his love. Just as they believed their life would grow happier day by day, fate brought the man's first love right in front of the girl. There are more interesting follow-up stories. Follow and subscribe to my account if you want to find out. The billionaire trims his wife's fingernails every single day. As a man of few words, he deeply cherishes their marriage, so he can only prove his love through actions. They have been married for 3 years. It was only yesterday that he completely won his wife's heart. He is willing to do anything and everything for her. When the girl proposed a business cooperation with his company, he agreed to her request without hesitation. Immersed in pure happiness, they had no idea a huge crisis was approaching their relationship. The excited girl went to sleep to save energy for the cooperation. The man felt a little down but did not stop her. The next day, the girl headed to her husband's company. As she handed her business card to the receptionist, a scheming woman snatched it away. The girl was stunned by the woman's rude behavior. Instead of apologizing, the woman questioned if she was really the billionaire's wife. The girl recognized the scheming woman at first glance. She knew clearly that the man's first love had come here to cause trouble, but she stayed fearless and asked the woman what she wanted. The scheming woman mocked the girl for being nothing but a replacement. She said the man would divorce her immediately once she returned. The girl ignored her and told her she was delusional. When she tried to leave, the woman grabbed her hand tightly. The woman ridiculed that the girl's company made money through fraud. The girl ignored the insult and tried to leave again. Yet the scheming woman refused to let go. She accused the girl of scamming money and tricking the man's feelings. Enraged, the girl said it was none of her business. Then she pulled her hand away firmly. The scheming woman, with superb acting skills, fell to the ground on purpose. She had caught sight of the man approaching from the corner of her eye. She believed this trick would arouse the man's desire to protect her. The girl grew nervous the moment she saw her husband. She feared he would side with his first love and blame her. The woman pretended to be weak and put all the blame on the girl. The girl watched her husband's reaction closely. As the man walked toward them, the first love assumed he was coming to help her up. But the man ignored her and walked straight to his wife. The girl explained that the woman had been insulting her. The man immediately scolded his first love for talking nonsense. Contrary to what the girl had expected, he did not protect his first love. Instead, he reprimanded her repeatedly for hurting his wife. The girl was utterly shocked by his reaction. She finally realized how important she was in his heart, even more important than his former first love. The scheming woman was furious yet helpless. The girl was still in disbelief over everything that happened. The reason they had never become a real couple in 3 years of marriage was that the girl always thought he still loved his first love. But today the man proved his deep love for her with real actions. Afterward, the thoughtful man personally escorted her to the office. What schemes will the stubborn first love come up with next? Can their love survive these cruel tests? There are more interesting follow-up stories. Follow and subscribe to my account if you want to know more. The girl finally heard her billionaire husband's heartfelt confession 3 years into their marriage. She realized even the reserved man of few words could speak such loving lines once he fell in love with someone. When the man said he would transfer all his assets under her name, the girl could not hold back her smile. She knew this choice was extremely tough for a billionaire. He did all this to ease her work stress, just as the man expected after learning about his full support. She lost her usual stern look while sitting alone in her office. Feeling relaxed, she shared the good news with her best friend. Her friend envied her and told her to cherish their marriage. Late that night when she got home, she planned to sneak into her husband's arms, yet she found he had been waiting for her all along. The girl finally understood the meaning of home and a life partner. All her tiredness turned into fondness for him. The man invited her to dine with his friends. The girl said she had to pick up her friend coming back from overseas. Disappointed as he was, he agreed to her plan. The next day, he and his friend showed up at the restaurant she booked. His friend wondered why he suddenly switched dining spots. He lied and said he just wanted to try different food. In truth, he wanted to pick her up after her meal. A car pulled up outside the restaurant shortly after. The man spotted the girl stepping out with her friend. He picked up small clues and realized this friend had feelings for the girl. Nervous, he stepped right out of the restaurant. He moved fast to claim his place as her husband. The girl looked utterly surprised to see him. Her friend asked who the man was. The man said nothing and walked straight toward the girl. He pulled her close to his side at once. He proudly announced he was her legal husband. The girl's friend wore an unpleasant expression instantly. He mentioned never hearing the girl talk about this man before. The man smiled and said people who are close do not need constant mentions. The girl sensed tension between the two men. Still, she had no clue her friend was in love with her. She asked why he had come to this place. He replied he hoped to drive her home after dinner. Her friend cut in, saying their gathering would last a long time. The girl had to ask him to head home first. Dejected, the man turned and left. The girl failed to notice his hurt feelings. Instead of going back home, he asked his own friends for details about his rival. Now that he held the girl's love, he feared losing her. His friend teased him about being jealous. He stayed quiet and kept rubbing his wedding ring. Once home, he found the house felt strangely empty without her. Will this new man ruin the girl's and the man's relationship? There are more interesting follow-up plots. Follow and subscribe to my account if you want to find out more.
The girl was happily celebrating her birthday with her best friend. Her friend suddenly asked if her husband had gotten her a present. She quickly explained her husband did not care about formal gestures. In truth, she had no idea if he even remembered her birthday. She was about to text him to say she would get home late, when she spotted his message asking what time she would return. She was pleasantly surprised and overjoyed. The quiet, reserved man really missed her. The girl ended the party right away and headed home. Her friend, who had feelings for her, felt upset yet could do nothing. Back home, the man had prepared an elegant French dinner. The girl spotted it the second she walked in. The man told her he had memorized her birthday perfectly. Then he handed her a property deed. The girl was utterly shocked. The document was exactly what she needed to expand her factory. She felt his sincere thoughtfulness and generosity. She lied and said she also had a gift for him. Curious, the man asked what it was. To his surprise, the girl locked his wrists with handcuffs. With loving eyes, she pulled him away. They woke up abruptly from their sleep the next morning. After learning the scheming woman was at his grandma's house, they rushed over at once. The dementia-stricken grandma looked confused, wondering why there were two granddaughters-in-law. The man's younger sister claimed the scheming woman was the real one, and the girl was just an imposter. The man watched the scene filled with anger. He knew the scheming woman was using their old romance to persuade his grandma into forcing him to divorce his wife. The girl wanted to argue back but feared upsetting the elderly grandma. The man stepped forward at the critical moment. He told them not to talk nonsense in front of his grandma. He reached out intending to take the scheming woman away, but she refused to budge an inch. She planned to use grandma to marry the man. It turned out the scheming woman once saved grandma's life, which was why grandma had long hoped she would marry her grandson. The man only loved his wife deeply at this point. He scolded the scheming woman for being repulsive. He had already taken good care of her many times, yet she remained greedy and unsatisfied. The fake woman pretended she only cared about grandma's health. She went on to say she was the only right match for the man. Under the constant pressure from the scheming woman and his sister, grandma fainted all of a sudden. Will Grandma's condition put an end to the couple's love? Will the scheming woman succeed with her scheme using Grandma? There are more exciting follow-up stories. Follow and subscribe to my account if you want to find out more. Two women looked at the elderly woman with dementia with seemingly caring eyes. Yet one of them planned to use the old lady to marry the wealthy man. The elderly woman woke up and immediately asked who her granddaughter-in-law was. The scheming woman lied right away, saying she was the old lady's favorite person. She who had never taken care of the elderly also claimed she had looked after her all along. The girl was furious but kept quiet, fearing it would upset the elderly woman. The old lady said nothing and reached out to touch the scheming woman's hand. Just as the scheming woman thought she had fooled the old lady, the elderly woman pulled her hand away sharply. She said anyone who truly takes care of her would not keep such long fingernails. The scheming woman grew very angry. The old lady then held the girl's hand. She wore a big smile and said the girl was her real granddaughter-in-law. The girl smiled and said nothing makes her happier than seeing the old lady safe and well. The scheming woman quickly added that she had worried about the elderly woman all day long. The smile faded from the old lady's face in an instant. She told the scheming woman not to think dementia made her unable to tell good people from bad. The wealthy man standing beside them broke into a bright smile. He then ordered the scheming woman to leave his villa at once. The angry woman had no choice but to leave in disgrace. As soon as she was gone, the wealthy man walked over to the girl. He told his grandmother that the girl was his wife. The grandmother smiled warmly and said she already knew. Due to her condition, the elderly woman had mistakenly believed the scheming woman was his wife. The scheming woman had tried to force the man to divorce through this pretense. She aimed to seize all his property once her plan succeeded. Even though the wealthy man deeply disliked her, fate let the old lady regain her clarity for a short while. The man no longer had to put up with the scheming woman's antics for his grandmother's sake. The next day, the relieved wealthy man and the girl enjoyed paper cutting together. Having never done this before, he asked curiously what they were making. The girl said these were Christmas gifts she prepared for the family. She was sure the grandmother would love the presents. At that moment, the wealthy man suggested canceling their prenuptial agreement. The girl felt surprised and a little upset. She thought he wanted to end their marriage. Noticing her unease, the man hurried to say he had no intention of getting divorced. He held her hand firmly while she looked at him in confusion. He spoke from the heart, saying all his assets and himself belonged entirely to the girl, so there was no need for a prenuptial agreement between them anymore. The girl smiled brightly. Will their life stay this happy forever? Will the scheming woman come up with other tricks?